The small town of Santa Clara was known for its tranquility and sense of community. The Andrade and Oliveira families had been neighbors for years, always participating in community events and celebrations together. Ana Andrade and João Oliveira, both 18, were best friends since childhood, inseparable like siblings. Everything changed on a rainy night in April. Ana was driving home from a birthday party when she lost control of the car on a slippery curve and collided head-on with another vehicle. In the other car were João's parents, Miguel and Teresa Oliveira, who were returning from a visit to relatives in a nearby town. The accident was devastating. Miguel died at the scene, while Teresa was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Ana suffered only minor injuries, but the emotional impact was immense. João, upon receiving the news, felt his world crumble. Losing his father and seeing his mother in a hospital bed was unbearable, but knowing his best friend was involved made everything even more confusing and painful. The days following the accident were marked by grief and anger. João couldn't look at Ana without feeling a mix of deep sadness and resentment. The Oliveira family was shattered, trying to cope with the loss of Miguel and the uncertainty surrounding Teresa's future as she remained in a coma. The Andrade family was also in shock. Ana isolated herself, consumed by guilt and sorrow. Her parents, Carlos and Helena, tried to support her, but they didn't know how to ease the burden she carried. The once united community was now divided, with many blaming Ana for the accident and others trying to understand that it was a tragic mistake. Teresa finally woke from the coma after weeks of uncertainty, but her recovery would be long and difficult. With the help of physical therapy and emotional support, she began to improve slowly, but Miguel's absence was an open wound that wouldn't heal. João was consumed by anger and pain. He distanced himself from Ana, unable to forgive her or himself for not being there to prevent the accident. The anger was a barrier preventing him from processing his grief properly. Ana, on the other hand, was in a constant battle with her own mind. She desperately wanted to make amends with João and the Oliveiras, but didn't know how. She started attending therapy to deal with the guilt and find a way to move forward. After months of separation, the tension between the families finally reached a breaking point. Helena, Ana's mother, arranged a meeting between the families in a desperate attempt to start healing the wounds. The meeting was tense and full of repressed emotions. "I know you'll never forgive me for what happened," Ana said, tears streaming down her face. "But I wanted you to know that I'm truly sorry." Teresa, still fragile and recovering, looked at Ana with eyes full of sadness. "Ana, I don't know if I'm ready to forgive, but I also know that holding on to anger won't bring Miguel back." João remained silent, battling internally with his feelings. He wanted to scream, to blame Ana, but he also knew that wouldn't change anything. His mother's words echoed in his mind, and he began to realize that the anger was consuming him more than anything else. The path to reconciliation was slow and full of obstacles. Ana continued to attend therapy and offered to help Teresa with her daily needs, an attempt to ease some of the pain she caused. Teresa reluctantly accepted the help, recognizing that perhaps it could help both of them find some peace. João, though still resentful, began to notice Ana's efforts. He saw how much she was suffering and how determined she was to make amends. This began to soften his heart, but full forgiveness was still a long way off. The turning point came during a group therapy session that João decided to attend, encouraged by a friend. There, he heard stories from others who had gone through similar traumas and losses. One story in particular, from a man who had lost his daughter in an accident but found peace by forgiving the driver, deeply touched João. "Holding on to resentment won't bring my daughter back," the man said, "but forgiving allowed me to live again, honoring her memory in a positive way." These words resonated with João, and he began to understand that his father wouldn't want him to live trapped in bitterness and hatred. He decided to take a difficult but necessary step towards forgiveness. João sought out Ana for an honest conversation. They met in the park where they used to play as children. The place brought back happy memories, reminders of a time before the tragedy. "I don't know if I'm ready to fully forgive," João began, looking at the ground. "But I know that continuing like this is destroying us. My dad wouldn't want us to live this way." Ana cried silently, feeling a mixture of relief and sadness. "I'm so sorry, Joao. I would do anything to change what happened." "I know," he replied, "and I see how hard you're trying. Maybe we can't forget, but we can try to move forward together." The process of forgiveness was long and filled with ups and downs, but over time, the wounds began to heal. Anna continued to help Teresa, which created an unexpected bond between them. Teresa, seeing Anna's dedication, began to see beyond the accident, recognizing the young woman she had always known and loved. Joao, inspired by his mother's example and the therapy sessions, found the strength to let go of his anger. He and Anna slowly rebuilt their friendship based on honesty and mutual support. The two families, united by tragedy, found a new kind of connection. The pain never completely disappeared, but it transformed into a force for change and growth. Forgiveness didn't erase the past, but it allowed them to live in the present, honoring Miguel's memory in a positive way. Years later, the Andrade and Oliveira families were an example of resilience and unity in the community. The park where Joao and Anna had their decisive conversation was renamed Miguel Oliveira Park, a tribute to the man whose life and death inspired a path of healing and reconciliation. Joao became a school counselor, helping other young people deal with grief and trauma. Anna, motivated by her experience, dedicated herself to social work, focusing on supporting accident victims and their families. Teresa, recovered, became an active voice in the community, promoting the importance of forgiveness and unity. The power of forgiveness transformed two families devastated by tragedy into a symbol of hope and healing. Anna, Joao, Teresa, and their families demonstrated that, even in the most difficult circumstances, forgiveness is a powerful force that can heal deep wounds and bring light to dark times. Miguel's legacy, lived through the actions and changes of everyone around him, showed that, although pain is inevitable, how we deal with it defines who we are. The park in his memory became a place of peace and reflection, where people could remember the importance of forgiveness and the human capacity to overcome adversity. In the end, the tragedy that threatened to destroy the Andrade and Oliveira families became a story of resilience, strength, and, above all, the transformative power of forgiveness. If this story touched your heart, leave a like and share. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for more inspiring stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.